we should be live then, hopefully. Or at least we will be
Yeah,
any
hopefully.
minute. And
So
second
it's...
now.
Yep, there we go.
There we go, yay. Now we just gotta wait for people to show up.
Okay, so on the stream, I hear you pretty well, but I seem to be quite loud. Maybe turn down your system volume.
In OBS?
Also just made a... yeah,
Oh yeah, you're way high. Let's try it now.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah, that's... Oh, I'll turn you up a little bit more, and that should be a whole lot better.
Okay.
Yeah. Hello, welcome to another live stream. Let's see if I can pop out this live chat. There we go. Let's put that. Shrink that. Shrink that. Gotta get all my windows set up here, people. And there we go. Maybe. Yes. Okay, good. Okay, now I'm able to have GIMP open on one screen, and then the reference image I'm using in the YouTube live chat. So, hopefully I should be able to see everything. So, as you guys can see, what we're doing today, I'm not actually going to be inking, I'm going to be trying my hand at a couple of backgrounds, maybe. Or at least get started doing that, to attempt to. Basically, the way you do backgrounds is you have a layout image, which is what you guys see here. And it's basically just a pencil sketch showing you what's going to be in the image. In this case, there's sky, some trees in the background, a tree in the foreground, and then a tree and another tree in the foreground. And then in between them is this big giant rock ledge thing. So that's the reference image we're going to be working with. And the goal is to basically go from that to this right here, which is a finished background. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be able to do all of this in one night or in one live stream, so I'll just do my best and we'll see what happens. Hopefully, just to give you guys an idea of what goes on and how to get started with a background. So, and I will also be using my Wacom tablet for this. Because why not? Because Wacom is awesome. No, we only have 3 watching the stream right now. Well, that's okay. Let's see. Let's pick a color to get started. Whoop. Whoops, wait a second. Oh, I don't want grayscale. How did it do grayscale? Alrighty. Somehow everything is showing up in black and white, and that's a GIMP setting that's happened before, and I just need to figure out how to fix it.
Oh, okay, I see you need to change your image.
Yeah.
Oh, it might be under page, yeah, but...
Maybe.
Pretty sure it's under image.
Alright,
or colors. My issue is that, you know, I'm looking at it quite a long time after you actually...
Alright, let's see.
I don't actually use GIMP myself.
Right. Mode, transform, print size, flatten image, line grade, image properties, maybe. Color profile. No. See, right there it says color space grayscale right here. Which is what I don't want. Maybe I have to close GIMP and try again.
Well, it's because the JPEG that you started with was a grayscale JPEG. You should be able to, under image, you should be able to go to mode RGB.
Okay.
So image mode RGB.
Oh, here we go. I can just do it this way. 301688. That's the size.
Yeah.
RGB.
Yeah, you could start with just an image and then drop the JPEG on top of it.
Right. That's the easiest for me to figure out right now. Where'd it go? There we go. All fixed. And back to the tablet pen. Dang it, why does it keep doing this? Come on, GIMP, don't give me problems tonight. Okay. Okay, wait, I remember what I did now. There we go. What I was doing is just turning down the opacity of the reference image of the layout so that I could see what I was doing underneath. Basically, all I'm doing now is just roughing in the colors and putting them all on a different layer so that I can easily change things later and just figure out what's supposed to be where. There's not a lot happening in the comments today. It must be a bad time to do a live stream.
Yeah, we only have Ansley that's actually said anything.
Yeah.
And, well, we just went up to 5 people watching, although at least one of those is me.
Yeah, one of them is me too.
Actually mean very much. Yeah. Oh, it went up to 7 for a second. Hello, people that have just come here.
Yes, hello. Welcome to another live stream with the Wolf Staff.
So Lupana is just starting on doing background painting.
Yes.
So it looks like you're just going to start with the very rough colors and then work your way up from there.
Yep, pretty much. Start with the base color and then add more detail as needed.
Mm-hmm. Now, you're going to do the rock first, and then you're going to do it like item by item, like rock, and then foreground tree, midground tree, background tree. So like
Probably.
something like that.
Either that, or I'll just do whatever the heck I feel like working on in that moment.
Uh-huh.
But at least want to rough in the what's there so that I know where everything's supposed to be and what I need to draw. Okay, there's a couple of trees. So, actually, let me do the background trees first. Let's do some dark green for that. And another new layer. Oh, there's mountains back there too, aren't there? There's like a couple little mountains right there.
I'm not surprised. I don't know exactly. I imagine there would be, yeah.
Interesting.
Poking in between the tree line.
Yeah. Because there's pointy things there and they don't have leaves, so...
Yeah, I think some of those are mountains.
I'm gonna have to make another layer for the mountains then. Those shouldn't be too bad. Trees are my nemesis, though. In the last background I attempted, I could not get the trees right. So I still left unfinished on my desktop. Let me just do this so I know that there's green back this way. And in case anybody else was wondering, it's just me and Bruce tonight. Margie said she might be here, but she can't stay long if she does come. So it's just us.
Yeah, and they're not the great conversationalists, unfortunately.
That's okay. Sometimes quiet makes it easier to concentrate. Okay. Let's make another tree layer. Do the foreground tree of a different color green. Oh, there's Ashley, our inkist. Hello, Ashley.
Hello.
Whoops. Put this above the rock. There we go. Looks like Margie just came back for a minute, over Skype at least. Man, I love working with a tablet. Makes things so nice.
Hello, Macy King. Movie's going. So Macy King asked, "How's the movie going?" It's making progress. It's
Yeah, it's not dead yet.
it's
Basically.
not. Yeah, unfortunately, we can't say much more than that in terms of solid how's it going type stuff. But it's going.
It is going. Uh,
Um, didn't we say that there was a shot that we were finishing up that might actually get released to YouTube? Oh,
yeah,
the
that's...
pups, I think, right?
It was either the pups or the Janice shot. I know the Janice one is definitely going to be on YouTube at some point.
The the big orbit one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that one definitely will make YouTube when it's done. Although the big thing there is the background as well as
Yeah.
finishing the inking. Um, but then yeah, I think the pups, which had been worked on a couple of streams ago, will also end up
Yes.
on YouTube eventually. So we'll have some progress that we can show soon, but that's not really indicative of all the stuff we can't show and can't talk about.
Right. But I just finished inking that shot of Bernard that I did a while back on a live stream. So that's good.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
I just
yeah. I
finished
saw us. Yep.
I finished inking that, and Margie is actually helping me with cleanup animation on that Janice shot so that it goes so smoothly, and it really is making things go so much faster. And I'm hoping that that shot will be done by the end of the month, for me at least. Then it still has to be colored, and we still need to do the background, but then my part of it will be over.
Yay! I mean, just with a real picture of mountains, it looks amazing anyway.
Yes. You could probably upload it to YouTube with the with that test you did a while back. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. So I did a test copy of. If you're not sure what shot we're talking about, you can go. Actually, I can just grab the. Let me grab the link to that video.
Yes.
Videos. It's one of our oldest. Yeah, it's this one.
It's such an amazing shot too, but it's so stinking hard.
Yeah. So, the shot's called Genesis Prayer. I mean, most of the shots don't have a name, but that one does. Actually, I think that's the name for the whole scene. Anyway,
it might be. I don't remember.
The scene. So Genesis Prayer, that shot, I made a temporary, or like a test thing. So, Lupana's working on inking that rough animation. And what that means is that you just have a clean version of Janet that's sitting there out in the middle of nothing. So we wanted to do a test to start figuring out how we were actually going to do the background for that. And just to show how I would probably do it, I just grabbed a huge panoramic image and, you know, a real-life panorama of the mountain range that this movie's supposed to be set in. And that's the test shot I made. My issue there is that none of those panoramic shots are actually available for use.
Oh yeah.
So even though I found, you know, really big clean images, I don't think any of them had a copyright, like
right.
I don't think they had the right type of like Creative Commons license or
Gotcha.
something like that. So we can probably get away with showing them on stream, but we can't actually release those shots.
Yeah.
Unless I put like a big grid or something. I could like overlay a grid on top of the image so that it's clear that we're not trying to profit off those images or whatever.
Right.
So hello, Ashley. Well, we already said hello to you. And
Margie's in the chat.
Yep, and hi, Margie. But I'm looking forward to seeing your first submitted ink shot. So, should be really cool.
Okay.
So you're just doing blobs of the color for now, just as a way of mocking it up?
Yep.
Kind of like reserving that area?
Just to get a basic idea.
Things on multiple layers yet, or not?
Have I what?
Are you actually working, are you using separate layers for each thing yet?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm using separate layers right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I figured that's easier to flatten everything later if I don't need them than it is to try and separate things if I have to make edits. So basically, this is a very simple version of what the background's going to look like.
Yeah.
Extremely simple. If I take off the rough, this is what it looks like. It kind of looks like something out of a very cheaply made children's cartoon. I'm still waiting for it to show up on your end. We gotta find an easier way to do this so there's no lag, but I know it's kind of inevitable.
Okay, so the way that you do it without lag is using Google Hangouts.
Okay.
Google Hangouts is essentially lag-free because the video is treated the same way that voice on Skype is. Or you can do it. You can do video desktop sharing in Skype. The point is that you need to end up with you need to have something that's actually meant to be like person to person, like a direct stream, not going up to YouTube and back.
Right.
So, you know that there are, like, what we could do in the future is that we could actually do a Skype call where you use Skype to share your desktop with me, and then I stream. And then I
Yeah,
would see your screen.
that's true.
Or anything else similar to that. And that
Yes.
is a way that it could work. I've had thoughts about that. It's sort of related to, the best method for having multiple people stream at once.
Yeah.
That's sort of similar challenge. Because that's something that would be interesting as well. Maybe do like 4 different people streaming at once or something.
Yes.
But you know, the easiest thing to do would just be to use Skype and then capture the Skype window. If we
Yeah.
were worried the latency between the people that are talking together on the chat.
Yeah. I know I know what animation happens in this shot, so I know I'm going to have the rock on 2 different layers, I believe. I need to double check the animation to see what's happening. But I know there's characters coming in from the right side of the screen, and they're walking across the rock right there. If I remember right. That sounds right. So yeah, this is basically the first step, is to, I guess, make a really rough looking test, if you will. I wonder if I'm supposed to be able to see if we're supposed to be able to see the ground over here, or if there should all be sky. That's the thing about
You
these.
mean to the left of the big tree?
Yeah, in the bottom left corner.
It's a good question.
Cause I don't think the layout goes that far. It doesn't show a whole lot there.
No, not really. Hold on. I'm gonna look through my. Hold on.
You're gonna check
I'm
stuff
gonna
on
look
your end.
through all the. I'm gonna look through all the backgrounds that I have and see what the others. Well, I'm gonna. Well, hold on. Which scene and shot is this?
This is scene 1, so there haven't been any backgrounds done for it yet. I don't think, except
Yeah,
like
but
1.
which shot? Which
3.
shot though?
It's 1, 3.
Okay, the layout doesn't indicate any movement, but let me. I'm not sure I put this one together yet. Hold on. I'm checking my composite so that I can actually watch the animation.
Yeah, he's pretty much got all that stuff on his computer.
You know, I effectively, not all the scenes are put together, but effectively anything that's progressed past animation, I have each scene. And I actually do have a timeline where I can just drop all my composites together and watch the movie straight through. Although it's missing like 2/3 of the scenes, and most of them are obviously nowhere near a
Right.
releasable state. But yeah, I do have scene 1 put together actually, and let's look at it.
Oh, and I also just realized that there's an N here for north, which means the sun's going to be setting in the left direction, in the west, which is good to know. So that means the sky is not going to be completely blue. But for ease of blocking in everything, it's easier to make the sky blue.
This is for shot 3?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, shot 3.
I was just checking. Okay. Hold on. It's rendering.
As we all know, sometimes the renderings take a while.
Yeah, I don't actually need it to. I've asked it to do a whole bunch more frames than I actually need right now, but I want to get a reference point for what happens actually in the shots before and after. Okay, they're running that way. They're running. This is on the. Oh, and then they're walking up. Oh,
Yeah.
wait. Okay. Your rock. Okay, hold on. Now, what did you say you think you had to do?
I think maybe that I need to have the ground visible in the bottom left corner, like maybe just from the bottom of the tree to
Oh.
the second lowest branch that you can see. Either that, or I can
Uh.
extend the tree all
Uh.
the way down and hide it all.
Neither.
Just leave it
This
alone.
tree. Yeah. It should be sky in the bottom left corner, and the tree branches. If you look at the layout, you can see that the bottom branches are supposed to. It's not supposed to just be like tree flat on the bottom. The branches are supposed to like get progressively shorter.
Okay, they're
Like
tapering off.
yeah, you
Got it.
see that?
Yep.
So this rock is supposed to be like on the top of a cliff.
Okay.
And so that cliff face is supposed to keep going down off of out of frame.
Okay.
So basically what I'm saying is there wouldn't be anything other than sky if you were actually looking at this.
Okay.
Now the other thing I have to say is you need to have the ground. Well, it doesn't need to be in 2 layers. The rock, I mean. It doesn't need to be in 2 layers, but it would be easier to ink if it was.
Okay. Yeah, if the rock is in 2 layers.
Yeah, let me export a couple of things so you can see.
Yeah. It's been a while since I watched this shot, so I need to know what's going on.
Okay, so we're gonna do this one. That one.
Okay, let's check this.
That one.
No, I don't like that. Okay. I'm basically nitpicking at this point, just... Mountains? Why is it not selecting? I want that color. What did I draw the mountains on if I didn't draw it on that layer? Crap. Oh, I do it on that one. Well, okay then. Wrong layer.
Okay, I just sent you 3 Photoshop files.
Okay, I will open... Yes, I will check that out in one moment.
You can. It's safe to share them with the stream. It's fine.
Okay, cool. Then I will share them. Okay, y'all, you're about to get a sneak peek over here. Give me a sec. Oh, Margie's heading out. Okay, let's open this one. Maybe. Oh, it's still downloading them. Okay. Let's zoom in a bit. Okay, there's Janice. Yeah, he's walking along that little ledge there. And hey, let's see the second one. Oh, wow, they appear that way, too. So I definitely need to have this on multiple layers, especially that big rock. Wow.
The only thing for the rocks, you just need 2 layers. You need, rock that they walk on and rock they walk behind.
Yeah, and I can have that all on one layer. If I do it right.
You just need most of the rock and then the rock they go behind.
Yeah. Let's see that one, and I'll just check the last one for good measure. Okay, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, so basically I would say split off the boulder that's on top and the boulder that it rests on to the right as
Mm-hmm.
their own layer, and then everything else should be, so like those two boulders are on top and everything else
Yeah.
is
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. So this, I want to erase. This part over here is what was on that layer. No, it's fine. Where'd I put the other one? Oh. See, this is another thing. Name your layers, people. Name the layers.
in
Boulder.
in After Effects, if you don't name them, you end up with stuff like black layer 25,
Exactly.
white shape 36. Because in After Effects, if you just want to start with just blank object, you create a layer, and the name of the layer is going to be whatever the color was.
That sounds crazy.
Actually, let me amend that. It's not the name. Okay, the name of the layer when you first drop it in is just going to be the name of the source. You make a new source that is just a color, and then that source becomes, black solid or white
Yeah.
solid or gray solid, and then your layer is going to end up being black, white, or gray solid just because that's what the source was.
Okay, yeah. I'm just saying it sounds like a pain to have to name all your layers like that. I mean, never mind. I can't. I'm tired and I can't
Well,
speak right tonight.
it's a little bit better than just having, 100 untitled layers, which I've definitely also done in Photoshop before. Um, because at least they have the color of what they started out as.
Yeah.
And you might have, different ones start out with different colors.
No, no, I don't want that color. I want this color. Now, this is still setting things up, guys, so don't think that we're getting anywhere near to.
Yeah.
We're
Well,
gonna be
clearly
here a
not.
while. This is literally just planning. Background planning
it's
at
just
its finest.
it's just planning in colors and with layers.
Yes. And making things look a little clean. Sort of. Trunk 1. Okay, that's the first trunk. Ouch, sorry. My dog is not too happy about me streaming tonight. She wants to be in bed. Okay. That looks nice. Mountains. Let's color them again. Now what I'm doing is basically making sure that there's no white gaps anywhere on anything that's going to be visible. Easy to fix later if I need to, but for now it's just trying to make things look good. Okay. Do that, do that. Okay. Let's just double check and make sure we've got things on different layers. We have one layer of trees in the foreground, the trunk that goes with that tree, the first boulder, the boulders behind the big boulder, the really big tree, the trunk of the big tree, the background forest trees, and then the mountains and the sky. And including the white layer and the layout, that comes to a total of 11 layers, guys. Just planning this. It's 11 layers. This is why we need background artists. It's people that do this all the time. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get slightly more detailed, I think. Now this is a semi-evening scene, which means the sun is going to start to set. So we're going to need some color changes in the sky. Nothing too dark, because this is scene 2 right here. As you can see, there's lots of red and orange and pink in the sky, so we don't want it to be quite that dark yet. Or maybe we do. How much time passes between scenes 1 and 2? Not much, is there?
I think they flow directly into each other, but let me just take...
Because that's what I would guess, but then I can really use this one as a reference.
Okay. Okay, that's how scene 1 ends.
And of course the colors show up differently. Great.
They literally, one goes into the other.
Okay. Good to know.
Like 1 second passes between them.
Cool. Whoops, no, I don't want to be that dark.
In fact, if you, well, you're doing shot 3, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter 100%. Hold on, let me. What did they actually? Okay, so here's shot 3. He's. Well. Okay. Okay.
See what I mean?
No, I'm just trying to figure out, like, is that rock the rock I think it is?
It might just be. I think it is that rock.
Okay, hold on. Hold up. Do you have the background of the first shot of scene 2?
First shot of scene 2. Yes, that's the one I'm using, I think. This says scene 2, shot 3, but it's the exact same thing. I'm pretty sure.
Yes. Scene 2, shot 3, and scene 2. Okay, you see that Janice is standing to the right of a rock? There's a rock to his left.
Yeah, that's this big rock right here that I'm showing on the screen, I think, isn't it? That'd be this big rock here.
The big rock that takes up the left side of that image.
Yeah.
That is the same rock that he walks behind in the shot you're doing.
Okay, awesome.
So when he walks behind it, he's walking to where he's standing in that
right
shot.
here. Okay, cool. Good to know. So this picture here is going to be an excellent source of reference material.
Yeah, and the rock on the right of that scene 2 image is, so you see in the third image that I gave you that Janice is standing like in between. He's standing in front of another rock.
Yeah.
That other rock he's standing in front of is
this
the one on the right side of scene 2.
Oh wow. Okay then.
So when it looks like he's in between 2 rocks, that's because he is, and those are the 2 rocks he's between.
Okay.
So that's what you need.
Sweet. Okay. Alright, let's put that there.
So effectively, this is like it's like 90 degrees turned around from the other one that you can reference.
Yeah. Now all I need to do is figure out how to do a good sunset type sky gradient to get me started. I mean, obviously I don't want to use a gradient the entire time, but...
Yeah. Having a gradient as a base is perfectly fine, and then you're going to put clouds on top of it.
That's too dark. See, when I do a gradient over the entire thing, it gets like, it's almost too much. I wish it would let me do 3 colors. That could go from like orange to yellow to blue. I guess I have to do that in,
Wow, so apparently I started putting together scene 2 and then just completely dropped it. Because I have like the first 2/3, no, the first like 1/3 set up, and then the rest is just not.
of what? Of the new scene 2?
Of the rebuild of scene 2, yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. Oh, here we go. There's something. No, counterclockwise. How did I do this before? There. Let's try this. Not bad, not bad. I'm getting closer here. Again, guys, this is just practice. This is setup. This is not going to be the finished background. I'm just... Actually, that's not bad at all. Let me try one more time. Does that seem okay? To go from blue, because it's north. The direction we're facing is north.
Facing north.
Or is that too much of a color change?
Actually, hold on. I'm trying to think of something. Okay, yeah, because so in scene 2, when we start scene 2, we're looking due west.
Yes, exactly.
Or more or less due west.
Right.
Right. So, well, I'm not. I can't really see the end result of what you're, unless you pause on it for a long time. I'm not even sure when when I do catch up.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not doing anything at the moment, so you're caught up, probably. All I'm doing is I'm letting you focus on what I have on the screen.
Well,
so
your mouse is still moving, and also it seems to be loading, buffering a lot for me.
Huh. Should I share my screen over Skype, and that way you can just watch it in Skype?
It's already complaining about your internet being slow. Let's not make it worse.
Okay.
Okay, so you did like a blur between the yellow and the orange.
Yeah.
And then, did you do anything after that?
No, I didn't do anything after that.
Okay. It seems that seems quite drastic of a transition. Like,
that's what I thought.
To go from the orange to the blue, just in like 90 degrees worth of sky.
Yeah.
Or like 45 degrees worth of sky. It doesn't go that quickly. So I'd say your orange needs to be way less orange, and your blue needs to be more
prominent.
More yellow. But try not to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but try not to be green, because obviously the sky never goes green.
Oh yeah, that's true. It does go green there for a second.
Yeah, you may have to.
Let's try.
Finagle your. You may honestly, you may end up. Well, you know what? Leave it with green there, because it's gonna get covered up when you do the clouds and all anyway.
Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna make a duplicate of this layer just as a test. I want to see what this looks like when I do this. Actually, that doesn't look bad. I'll wait for you to catch up so you can see it. All I did was I did the same blue as before, and I did a gradient to a lighter orange.
It's probably good, but yeah, we'll see.
I'll save both of them for now, and I'll work on the sky later.
Sure. Sounds good.
This is why you have layers, people. Let's see, what is this? 1, 3...
Oh, it just did the thing that you
Oh.
put in.
Uh-huh.
My comment on that is that it's too gray.
Okay.
It's too desaturated. But as a base that you're gonna work off of on top of later, I'd say that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Actually, the other thing that I want to say is it probably shouldn't be. Wait, are you using like a circle gradient or just a straight out?
I'm just doing a
Uh,
circle straight out left to right gradient.
but it is a circle.
A s- I don't know what you mean. And
No,
it's
you have it. Your shape is linear.
yeah, my shape is linear. That's all I'm using.
Okay, so my issue is that towards the bottom left corner, it can't be orange. It
Oh,
has to be
yeah.
blue again.
So
So it
should I
needs to be
be
like a circle. I would either say make it a circle or make it linear going from upper left to like bottom middle, or like not quite bottom right corner, but somewhere starting at
yeah.
the left corner and then just go somewhere diagonally
Let me try let me
with
just
the
see what
linear.
happens with radial. Okay, that goes from orange.
Radial might look good, but it's not going to be.
Oh, here we go.
Actually, we almost want like the opposite of radial. Anyway, getting something that is just a good baseline is all we need.
Yeah. Okay, I'm actually really happy with the gradient I have right here that I just did that you're going to be okay, yeah, it probably hasn't
Yeah,
updated
as
for
soon as
you
I
yet.
catch up.
Yeah, I basically now have some orange in the top left side of the screen, and then the bottom left corner and the rest of it is all blue yet. So,
Okay, cool.
yeah, I like that.
Yep, yep. I think
It's
we're
great.
good.
It's good for a base. Okay. This is going to be a pretty background when it's all done. Okay. How long have we been at this? An hour or something like that? And I've only just gotten a base down.
45 minutes.
Yeah, 45 minutes just to do the base colors and to have a
Yeah.
reference, guys.
Well, if you were an experienced background artist, I'm sure you'd
Right,
be much further along.
right.
Um,
But still, it's a lot of work. Now I'm going to make another boulder layer. And let's work on them. Okay, I'm also still using that scene 2, shot 3 as a reference. Okay. Let's turn the airbrush tool on, see what we get with this. Okay, that's really faint. Maybe I need to use that. No, it does need to be a fuzzy brush. Okay. Well, for anybody that's watching this later, another thing about backgrounds that you guys might not know is you can't just finish the whole background before sending it in. You usually have to send progress shots to Usuri as you go, especially with the backgrounds. Just because they're so detailed and time intensive, and you want to make sure you're doing it right the first time. It's not like with inking or animation or even coloring. So probably when I'm done with this rough here, I'll post it in the Google Drive and ask our fearless leader Usuri for her thoughts on it. Again, I am not an official background artist, so this is probably not the way a lot of people would do backgrounds, but you gotta deal with what you have. And if I can get this done to the point where it can be inked safely, and then I've done my job by helping to complete just one more shot, one more thing that needed to be done for the movie. Alright, not bad. Looking good so far. Let's go for some black. Oh, there also needs to be some highlights on the rocks. Forgot about that.
It's an iterative process.
Yeah. There's always something. But since I know which direction the sun is, that's going to make it easy. Let's see. Do we still have like 7 people watching this?
6 now, but yeah, more or less.
Cool.
The count that they use is a little bit abstract anyway.
Okay. It's never an exact number then?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that it doesn't update instantly.
Okay.
And I think you have to be watching for at least a certain amount of time to be counted as watching.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. And I also don't know, like, if someone joins but they're not watching live, I'm not sure how that's counted.
Okay.
Do they count as a live viewer if they're watching 5 minutes behind?
Right. Yeah, I guess that would make a difference.
Yeah, I just don't know which way, how they calculate it.
This is roughly where the shadows are going to go. Hopefully. Hello, Akia. Thank you for the heart. I'm trying here.
Oh, wow. When people come in, I like to look at their things. Kia has quite a number of interesting looking animations.
Oh, yeah? Sweet.
Assuming these thumbnails are actually things they made, they could easily be an animator for us. Or an inker or a colorer. Probably an inker with this type of talent, but they could do coloring too. I'm not saying that you need to come join us. I'm just saying that,
Yeah.
that I'm going to be looking at your videos later because I haven't seen your channel before, but I'm liking what I see here.
That's high praise, Akia, coming from Bruce.
There's this video here, redraw 2013 to 2016. Even your 2013, that's pretty good quality. So cool.
Yay.
I have something to go look at later.
Woohoo! Better save my progress. That's another thing. Save often. I've made that mistake too many times. Save your work. But you guys are artists, so I shouldn't have to tell you this. We all have had that problem.
I've gotten lazy with After Effects' autosave. I have it
Uh-huh.
set to every 5 minutes, and then I just don't worry about it. But the problem is that, well, it's not a problem anymore. At one point, I had the whole movie as one big file, and
Uh-huh.
so it would take over a minute to save.
Oh, wow.
My so at the time that I split it up, I kept a copy of the whole of the of the file
Mm-hmm.
that I split up before I did so. That file um, was 71 megabytes.
Holy cow.
All the files that have replaced it now are 94 megabytes together. But individually, they're 15, 15, 22, 7, 25, 6
Okay.
megabytes.
Wow.
So each one is a pretty big file, but they're not as big as the whole movie. So now they, depending on which group I'm in, um,
Yeah.
there's it does it much quicker. I split it up by every 5 scenes is one file.
Okay. Hmm.
I'm just reading. IKEA said, "Haha, wink. I've always been inspired in Wolf's movie. A big inspiration from Owen's style. Yeah, I guess this project has been around long enough that we would be
Yeah.
inspiring people. Oh, actually, I just realized your oldest video is only a year old. So yeah, we've been around long enough to definitely have inspired you. But that's cool. Um, and actually, what's also really cool is that you have about half as many subscribers as we do in only a year.
Wow.
This channel's like 10 years old.
Go IKEA.
So, yeah, you're doing good.
Snaps for
But yeah,
IKEA.
a big thing of that is that I can see that you've been uploading sometimes multiple things per month, but definitely at least each month you've uploaded at least one thing. So, um, really, that's how you get success on YouTube is through constant posting.
Yeah.
It's not it's not enough to post like one like even if everything you posted went viral, you're still better off posting an average thing every week than one viral video a year.
That's
So,
interesting. I didn't really think of that. But I guess you're right.
yeah. The algorithm really the algorithm for like what's hot for like on the homepage, it really prefers people that are consistent.
Hmm. Good to know. Whoop, that's a really big brush. I don't want it that big. Let's see. Just basically trying to see what looks good here. And Akia says, well, it really depends. I've seen very huge channels who grew super fast because of their badass skills, even if they don't upload for a couple of months. That's
Yeah,
true.
sure. As an example, I can show you like Vsauce. Vsauce um, only uploads like once or twice every couple of months. But yeah, um,
And then there's some YouTubers that upload like, uh, my mountain has a blue dot showing through. Okay, yes, thank you. I see it.
yeah, those things aren't quite
Yeah.
important at this stage.
Yeah, it's way too
They'll
early for
get
those
covered up.
things. It'll be covered up later.
But yeah, I'm not saying that you can't get any type of success if you only post big things intermittently, but it's well known that the algorithm prefers people who consistently upload. Oh, the mountain with the blue dot is the two mountains that are behind the trees? It's the left of those two.
The mountain behind the two trees. Oh, it's the left one, you say?
Yeah, it has a blue dot in it.
Oh yeah, I thought you were talking about in the scene, the reference image I'm using.
No.
Yeah, I know.
I'd be surprised if the reference image had a mistake like that.
Actually, I think the mountains will probably be the easiest part of this. In the last time I tried to do a background, the rocks were actually fun. It's the trees that killed me. So I never actually got to complete the background. I can actually show you guys what I did the last time. If I can pull it up and show you guys. It's not finished, but at least give you an idea of what a lot of work looks like. Let's see, background, where is it? It's this one, I believe. Okay, it's loading. This is what I got so far the last time.
I can't see it yet, but
okay, yeah.
Okay, it's loading right now.
Okay, yeah, it should be up. Wow, there really is a gap between the two.
What happens is, oh, hey, what resolution is this monitor?
The Cintiq?
Yeah, is it higher resolution than your actual screen?
Probably.
Because we've only been looking at like the top upper left corner. Okay, we can fix this real quick.
Okay.
Open up OBS.
Okay.
And then you have your display.
Oh, whoa.
Capture. You can scale your display capture down so that it all fits within the window.
Oh, wow. I didn't even realize that. Yes. I see exactly. Let me fix that.
When we swapped which display that we were capturing, I forgot to remind you about that.
Yeah. That should look a whole lot better now, guys. Now you can actually see what I'm working on.
Well, it'll be yeah. Smaller. So we won't be able to see it as well, but
there you go.
Akia said something, but I will I'm waiting for. Okay, yeah. So we can see your whole screen now.
Yay.
We were only looking at like half of it. Whoops.
Well,
maybe 2/3 of it. Okay.
Akia.
So actually, we never could see your layers.
Wow. Yeah, that's
like I knew that you had layers that you were using, but we never actually saw them.
Yeah. Okay. These are now you can see my layers.
Yeah. Okay,
all the layers over here. Akia. Her question. Do I have?
Do you have reference or more storyboard lines when drawing backgrounds? Are you completely free?
This is what I had to work with.
Layout layer?
Yeah, this is the layout layer here. It'll show up in a minute for you guys. But yeah, this is basically the guide that I'm using. This black and white sketch here.
Yeah. So this layout is both. It's the reference for both the background art and the rough animation. So the rough animation is going to be done based on this layout, and then the background gets done based on the layout, and then the inking layer gets the inking step is mostly based on the rough animation, but it also the rough animation follows the layout. The inking has to follow the actual background. So an example where that makes a difference is if a character is supposed to be like walking over a horizon line or walking behind a tree, the edge of the tree in the layout might be different from the edge of the tree in the actual background art.
Right.
And the color, actual inking and coloring actually has to take that into account based on the background, not based on the rough animation.
Yep.
To a certain extent, you don't have to worry about that as long as everything's in layers. Like, if a character's supposed to walk behind something, and that's in a layer, well, the compositor just has the character go behind it. But if the layers accidentally get squashed down, then you actually have to take care to watch that in the animation. And that's how they did that more in the days when everything had to be hand done. Because yes, they could have multiple cells for for like background, midground, foreground elements. Like you might have a tree that's on a transparency, and then you just slap that on top of everything else.
Yeah.
But if you wanted something to move, there would still be times when actually the person doing the inking or coloring would have to actually get the colored animation and refer to it exactly.
Yeah.
Or get the color background.
Like, for example, I can show you guys an inking shot that I did a while back. If I can find it. Where is it at? Okay, I'm just gonna have it loop. I kind of save all the shots that I ink on my computer so that I can look at them later in case I want to use them for a portfolio. But anyway, as you can see in this, there's a line right below Janice's feet here. And that's where the edge of one of the backgrounds is. And I made it kind of blend into the background so that it would look like he was actually sitting on the edge of the rock. Because otherwise, it would have looked really weird, and he looked like his paws would have been overhanging the edge. Kind of see what I mean?
I see what you mean, but it's gonna be a while if you want them to say what you mean.
I'll leave it up for a minute so that way. There's like a 20-second delay between what I see and what you guys see. So half the time I'm referencing something that's not even on the screen anymore. We're not there yet. Well, Akia is actually interested in trying out for a background artist now, because at first she was afraid we were freestyling. No, we're definitely not freestyling. We know you're guided a lot.
Actually, I didn't even look. Well, I mean, I noticed the backgrounds before were really good, but I didn't actually, consider if you had done them yourself. If you do your own backgrounds in these things I'm looking at on your channel, I think we could definitely use your talents. That would be really good. Because we're the reason why Lupana is trying her hand at backgrounds is that
since we don't have enough people to do backgrounds.
Basically, we're getting to a point where the rough animation is really far along. But the inking you can't ink without the background for all the reasons we said before. But we haven't had a background artist for a while. Oh yeah, the delay for you guys, the lag and the delay is like, less than a second, or if there is any. The lag is for me because I'm talking to Lupana over Skype, which is instant. But I have to wait until the stream catches up to see what she's doing. So that takes at least 30 seconds. Unfortunately.
Yeah. I kind of want to see if my computer can handle a Skype screen share and with OBS.
No, if we were going to do that, then I would do the OBS streaming.
Okay.
Because A, I know my computer can handle it, and B, I have a business class fiber connection.
Okay.
So my internet can handle it.
Yeah, I have crappy internet.
Next time we'll give it a shot with you just doing a Skype screen share or something similar to that to me, and then I'll stream to YouTube.
Yeah. I actually wasn't sure if you were around because I hadn't heard from you for a while.
Well, yeah, I had the Skype channel. Now that there's so many artists in there actually communicating with each other, the Skype channel to the point where I was getting. I mean, right now, it's there was a point where it said there was like 900 unread messages, and that was
Holy
in like
cow.
a day and a half. So
Wow.
when you guys are talking to each other, you don't realize how many messages you're sending each other.
No, I guess we don't.
I don't mind it, but yeah, it's
It's a lot when you're not expecting it.
yes. My friend Maki, who is in the channel, says yeah, I think my machines can carry it too. Yes, I know that your machine could do it too. that's not the issue. Although, actually, if I was over at your house, I might utilize that. I mean, I'm not saying that we would stream from your house. Ashley is saying sorry. I assume sorry because of the channel. It's really not a big deal. If it was that big a deal, I would leave the channel. I have it muted. It's not a big deal. But yeah, that's why I don't come in there, because oftentimes, even if I do come in to read what you're saying, I don't have much to say about it.
Yeah.
But this comment was like a couple of minutes ago. Arctic Wolf Nebulous said, "Finally, you streamed." I guess you mean it has been it's been a couple of weeks since the last time we streamed, so I guess that's what you mean.
Yeah, unless you mean backgrounds.
Background, because Lupana did a stream recently.
Yeah, it hadn't shown up. It didn't show up on the channel right away though. I don't know why. But I only just now saw it when I was starting this stream. Like, it finally came up for me. So I don't know why it decided not to show up before.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean.
Like, every time I would go to the Silver Sky Studio YouTube channel, I would not be able to see the most recent stream, which was mine. Like, it just wouldn't show up. I didn't. Like it never happened.
You probably had it. You probably didn't have it set. You probably had the archive set to private. So the archive of the stream can either be public or private. And I went into the channel at some point in the past, recently, and I noticed that the default had been changed from public to private. So any of the archives were automatically going private. This one is set to public.
Okay. Yeah, I bet I accidentally pushed something when I was trying to get it set up.
I'm gonna go to the video manager and check right now if everything is. Oh yeah. Yeah, a couple of these are unlisted. That's why.
Huh.
Okay, so let me just go through this real quick. So testing was a 41-minute stream on February 26th. That was the first stream. That one should be unlisted because that one was really messed up. And then there was an 8-set. That one should be unlisted. That one. That one should be unlisted. This one should be public. Why is this unlisted? Okay. So there was a stream on March 24th that's now been made public.
That was me, I think. I was doing Bernie.
Rough animation working stream. Actually, you have is that Brett? You have Brett up.
Oh, that must be Margie's then. Yeah, she did some rough animation of Brett.
Yes, this was Margie's. And then my special effects stream on April 15th is already public. And then there's rough animation working stream April 17th that's unlisted. I'm going to make that public.
In case anybody here didn't hear, I'm drawing on this using a Wacom Cintiq tablet. So I'm not using my mouse or anything. I'm actually hand drawing this on a tablet. That's why my mouse is moving so crazy fast. I really have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just testing things to see what looks good and what works. Okay, let's check my reference image again. The actual color I can edit later with a color filter of some kind, but I just want to make sure I have the details right.
Yeah. Okay, and then the inking stream for Bernard on the
Mm-hmm.
22nd, that was also unlisted. So basically, they were all unlisted, and I have no idea. Unless someone changed the default settings again. Let me go check what the default settings are.
That's really weird, though,
It,
that this keeps happening.
yeah.
Okay, what did I do with... Okay, there's like little cracks in the rocks, too. That I can do. I think my favorite part about doing the boulders is the random little cracks. You'll see what I mean then. Hello, Rainbow Wolf Productions. Good to have you here.
Yeah, so clearly someone other than me is also logged into 2 YouTube channels at once.
That would be me. I'm logged into like 5 at once. It's ridiculous.
No, I mean...
Oh.
Yeah. Wow. My live chat, I've got 2 browser windows open. My live chat has a lag between the 2 browser windows.
Wow.
So I'm
That's
in
a
like
little
one
odd.
Firefox and it's Chrome. In
Interesting.
in my one window, that's Nala is above High from Channel 2. In the other window, that's Nala is below High from Channel 2. That's how much of a lag there was. The messages
Wow.
came in.
That's pretty bad.
Okay, so it isn't okay. I assumed it was actually logged into Rainbow Wolf Productions, but it's actually not.
Oh.
so,
I know, I was about to
so,
say, what are we talking about, Oliver?
Oliver, well, I and a couple other people are just joking about being logged into multiple YouTube channels at the same time. But
Yes.
moreover, we're talking about the specifics of doing background, drawing backgrounds for the Wolf movie.
Yes.
Um, so Lupana
Her.
is the one actually drawing.
Yes, I'll zoom out
And
to give you
that's
guys a
what
look
we're
of
talking
what's going
about.
on. Yep. This is basically just... Oh, who is this Nala you speak of? Oh, you guys are hilarious. Crack me up. So basically all I have so far is a rough layout of what the background is going to look like based off of this layout sketch right here. Yeah, well, there must be a lag between the chat then and things, Oliver. I don't know. But anyway,
Okay, no, Oliver, your message arrives to us immediately, but our response to you takes 30 seconds
yeah,
because the response has the lag of the chat of the stream.
yes. Whoops. Okay. I'm going to try and work on the mountains a little bit because I'm looking at the reference picture for those, and those look pretty simple. Plus, there's only a tiny, tiny little bit of mountains here to work with. Should not be
Yep.
too bad.
I don't think time zones are why the messages take a long time to reply to.
Yeah, I think it's just internet.
Just to give you an example, I hear Lupana immediately when she says something.
Yep.
But if Lupana says, look at this thing that I've done, I have to wait 30 seconds for the instance of look at this thing. Because I'm actually watching the stream. I'm watching the same stream you are. So I actually know exactly how much delay there is because when she says, oh, whoops, I put red on the screen or something, it takes me 30 to 45 seconds to see the accidental red mark that she put on the screen.
Yep. Basically.
Or whatever. So it's the same. So the same lag I have in seeing what she does after she reacts to whatever she's doing, or says something about whatever she's doing. That's the same lag that you have between when you type something and when you hear our response to what you type. One reason why it's longer for this stream than others that you might have been a part of is honestly just because of Lupana's internet.
Yes.
Because internet is slow, YouTube has to buffer a bit more data before they're able to send it on to you.
Yeah, and there's really nothing I can do about that because my internet is absolutely horrible. And until we finally move, which I don't even know when that's gonna be, then it's just gonna be like this, unfortunately.
Also, it's a little bit caused by your computer, I think, although I'm not 100% sure on that. I know YouTube doesn't like the resolution that your computer sends, and I know we have no way to adjust that.
Yeah.
OBS won't let us. OBS doesn't give us the option of a resolution that YouTube wants, just because of your main screen resolution. Actually, we might be able to change that if you make your Cintiq the main screen, and then we can give it something. We can give YouTube something it actually likes.
Ah. We'll have to play around with that next time.
Right now, we're forcing YouTube to actually scale down a little bit from just over 720p to 720p. And that's actually probably also a reason that there's lag, because we're forcing YouTube to downscale. And they have to, do that frame by frame. Oliver asked what software you're using.
I'm using GIMP right now. GIMP version 2.6 because I absolutely hate the newer versions. And I'm basically just using GIMP and a Wacom Cintiq 13 HD is what this is.
So Oliver was wondering if it was Paint Tool Sci. Obviously, I knew it wasn't, but I was
no.
That. Have you tried Paint Tool Sci?
I had it for a demo version a while back, but I didn't have the money at the time to buy the whole thing. So.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
It's nice though.
I think for background work, it might actually be. Well, I wouldn't say it's better, but I think it's more suited to background work. But of course, that depends on your personal experience.
Yeah, I'm just more used to GIMP.
Jaren asked, how come this movie still isn't done? I think I've been waiting around 8 years. Well, from the time that the script was finished, it's been much longer than 8 years. And the reason that it's not done yet is because in the beginning, there was lots of people and there wasn't the greatest management of those people. So if you look at like scene 2 being scene 2 is on our channel from like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that. And
Yeah.
if you look at that, the quality is just not there. The reason is that at the time they had too many volunteers. They had more volunteers than they could manage. And when you can't manage a whole bunch of volunteers, you basically have to just like accept whatever they give you, and you can't make sure that you get the quality that you want. The quality that we're looking for now is not too drastically higher, but it's more consistent. We're looking for more consistent quality.
Yeah.
Um, so what that means is that we don't just accept art from anybody. I mean, it's
You gotta at least make sure you can do the work up to our standards. Is basically
right.
what we're saying.
So what that means is that we can't just accept every volunteer. Why it's taking so long is that we don't have many volunteers.
Basically, yes.
I can't give you an exact number because that's not our policy. But I can tell you that the rough animation is significantly far along. The actual animation, most of it exists. Like I can
Yeah.
put together an export that is most of the movie animated.
Pretty
All
much,
the
yeah.
all the voice acting is done. Literally all the voice acting is done, except for maybe some pickups like, oh, we need a little bit of like we need someone coughing,
Yeah.
but most of the voice acting is done. The issue is that there's certain things that we just don't have enough of. Oliver's saying for some reason the dialogue is skipping. I'm
Hmm.
sorry. Okay, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Um. Oh, YouTube is complaining. YouTube's saying that your internet speed is good. They're not getting enough video from you.
Huh. It must be
Um.
my internet again.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess. So let me type out a little bit of an answer for Oliver in the chat.
Okay. If you can hear me, Oliver, he's gonna type out a response to you. So no worries. Now he's saying he's seeing full bufferings.
No, that's my friend Maki.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, I'm seeing the buffering too in my stream, but I just until other people say something, I can't assume it's me. But also the YouTube thing is saying the YouTube portal is saying they're not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering.
Okay.
Um, so unless you can get better internet, there's nothing we can do about that.
Yeah.
The thing where you stream to me would help because even if the video, like even if there was issues with the video getting to me, at least the video stream from me to YouTube would be stable.
Should we try
So
that?
they put we can try that tonight, sure. If you want to swap over to that. Let me finish typing this to Oliver,
Yeah.
and then we can try flipping over to that.
Okay, cool. Hmm. Well, some of the mountains are done. Yay.
Done for a certain amount
Yeah.
of.
Yeah. For
I
now.
wouldn't put that in the final video. They're better for now. I can tell they're mountains now.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah, comparing them to a finished background, they're not anywhere near done. I'm done with them for now, is what I should say. Hmm. Let's see about some clouds. Clouds are nice. Let's see. Let's go with some white. Whoops, that's not what I need.
Okay. Let me start up OBS and let me get the stream key and put that in, and then we'll be able to swap over.
Yes. Yes, Oliver, backgrounds are not my favorite thing either. I'm literally doing this just because we have to get backgrounds done, so... Otherwise, then the movie really will come to a screeching halt, eventually.
Okay, Lupana, go ahead and stop the YouTube stream and start sharing your. Okay. So I'm definitely streaming. Ah, there it goes. It just snapped into full screen mode. I'm not sure why it wasn't. Okay, so it's full screen. I'm sort of limited to just one monitor now. It says stream is healthy. Yeah, it says we're still.
Okay. Well then.
Oh, one derpy thing is, as soon as I click on another window, like if I click on the
Yeah.
Chrome, a little Skype thing pops up showing the current call.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I can't do anything about that. It'll just be
Yeah, that's
there.
alright. Deal with it, guys.
I think it's better than before. Action says
Yes.
it looks clear. Oh well, of
Yay.
course, because I'm actually so you're streaming to me at 1080p, and then I'm streaming to the internet 1080p. So Skype is actually a way better streamer than OBS.
Really.
I think so. Yeah.
We should just do this more often then. This is how we'll do it.
Yeah.
Footage lags.
At least from you, and we can try it from Margie as well next time. Those clouds are looking
Yeah.
really nice. To be honest, I haven't actually looked at what you were drawing for a while because I was trying to figure out other stuff, and then I looked over and you have
Right.
like, nice clouds all of a sudden.
Thank you. Yeah,
Okay.
the clouds are actually the easy part. I think I'll leave them alone for now too.
Oliver
I don't want to mess up a good thing.
Yeah, Oliver says the footage lags, but the dialogue is fine. Or, okay, now it's good. Yeah, the footage lagging, that might happen from time to time, because now Lupana has to send the video data to me.
Yeah.
But at least the dialogue should always be good, at least this way.
Yeah.
So we will definitely try this going forward. It's probably more
Yes.
stable. Anyway.
Oh, now I've got to draw the dang trees. I hate trees. I hate drawing trees. Why do they have to be so hard?
We missed one thing. Right when we started the stream the new way, Nala said hello.
Oh, hello, Nala. Okay. Come on, guys, we could really use some background artists because I don't want to do trees. Please don't make me do the trees anymore. Alright, let's see here.
Oliver
Colors.
said, this was a while back while we were trying to swap streams. Oliver
Okay,
said,
yeah.
I always hated drawing backgrounds. Mostly I would just draw a character and leave the background white.
Yeah, that's what I do 99% of the time as well. Or I'll do a gradient and call it good. Let's see.
YouTube is not the only non-gaming specific streaming site. There's, is it Pix something? There's at least two streaming sites that are actually art specific.
That's cool. I know.
It's not Pickstream.
Picarto?
Picardo. Yeah, Picardo's one of them. There's another one that's actually like furry art themed.
Wow, I haven't heard of that one.
I forget what they're called. I was at I went to a panel at a convention, and they were talking about why their thing, at least in certain aspects, was better than Picardo, and they're trying to get more artists to use it. Oh yeah. We have Maki and I have a friend who uses Picardo.
Okay.
It works well enough. She also is a person who doesn't have a good internet connection, so but I think Picardo might be better than YouTube in that regard. It does all come down to your settings. I know she's using an older version of OBS, and I know that she's like very hesitant to touch anything because she's gotten it working for her.
Yeah.
But yeah, sort of have to. Unfortunately, there's a lot of fiddling, but rather than fiddling around, we can just take the shortcut of, throw lots of computer and internet connection at it.
Yes.
Actually, I'm amazed how good the Skype stream is. I assume, me looking at my screen looks really good, and it's way better than the YouTube stream was before. I'm just amazed at how well it's doing it.
Yeah, Skype screen sharing is actually pretty good. Wait, why is it doing that weird color? I'm basically just playing around trying to see what these different settings do.
Under pressure, you have the checkbox for color. So when you apply pressure, it's swapping between the two colors.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
That's what that checkbox means.
I think I want that. Let's.
I'm sure it can be made useful. You just gotta pick the right colors.
Yes. That definitely does a nice effect. Wow. Sort of.
It is a nice effect, but I'm not sure tree branches are usually so brown.
You'll see I'm going by this image here.
Oh, that's right. You have to match those trees.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I hate trees.
I forgot about that.
Can I literally just, can I crop around those trees and just paste them in here and call it good? Am I allowed to do that?
Oh.
I'm totally being sarcastic.
Well, actually, if you went and got the actual background files, at least some of those trees are on their own layers.
When I had it, it was actually just one tree was on one layer and that was it.
But if you look at other backgrounds from the same scene, other ones have other trees on their own layer. So you can go around and you can cobble together a forest out of all the
I bet I could do that.
prior art. But that's
The ref-
definitely the cheating way. So
yeah, I don't want to encourage cheating. So
uh,
basically, Oliver asked about this picture here. This is actually a finished background from the movie, from scene 2, which you can find on YouTube, actually. And this is what I'm using as a reference because the scene that I'm doing comes immediately before scene 2. I'm doing scene 1 right now.
right. So
And
the end
so,
of scene 1 and the beginning of scene 2 are only like 1 second apart from each other. So
yeah.
um, I just realized there's like a Skype watermark over the screen.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It doesn't
Well, that's...
it doesn't really show up when you're looking at GIMP, but when you look at anything else, it's there.
Wow. That's odd. I've never had that happen before.
There's like a professional version of Skype you can buy that's meant for like if a TV studio wants to have someone call in via Skype, that's what they can use.
Oh no, my GIMP just froze.
Yes, I noticed. I was wondering what was going on.
I don't know. Sometimes it does this. Come on, GIMP. Are you gonna... It's saving. Okay, it's saved. Is it gonna let me draw again? Yes. Okay, good.
Huh.
Sometimes it does that and I have to exit out of GIMP, force close it, and then open it up again and continue.
Weird.
Yeah. Oh, and Ashley says, oh, those checkboxes were what were causing her tablet issues. Oh, hold on, I just got to pop up on my screen. No, Windows, I don't want your support stuff. Just leave me alone. Let's make this a little bit bigger. This is actually not as painful as I thought it would be.
Ashley just said, by the way, guys, those checkboxes under the brushes was what was causing my tablet issues. So, okay, so the issue was that the pressure and velocity and stuff was...
Yeah.
I totally believe that. That's, those are things that, yeah.
That happens.
Oliver said, I wish art/animation channels were more popular on YouTube instead of shitty
Me
vlog
too.
prank reaction channels. My understanding is that because they're not popular, they can't become popular. It's a feedback loop.
Yeah.
For your drawing of these branches, I feel like you have to abandon the green and abandon because okay, let me back up. You have
Right.
those green layers because those green layers are precisely the shape of the layout layer, right?
Exactly. Yes.
But the layout layer, when you come to color it, doesn't actually match what you need to do for the background. I think you need to just take the shape of the layout layer for the branches as a rough guideline. And not feel
Okay.
constrained when you're doing like leaves coming off of the branches. I think you can't be constrained by the shape of those layers.
Yeah.
Um,
That's a thing. I think that's my personal issue. I think that's a pet peeve of mine, kind of. Is it's hard to... I'm used to going inside the lines and being detail oriented
right, but these
and
are
sticking to...
in this case you need to
Right.
make your own lines.
Yeah. After I get to a certain point, I'm just going to delete the old stuff and go from scratch. Does it look okay? What I've done now, though, is it better? Is it worse?
Now that you're escaping the boundaries, it's getting better.
Okay.
But in terms of having to match the other style, I don't think you're there.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I know I'm not as of yet.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm trying to cover up that bright green at the moment by using that basic shape and then getting some other color on it. And hey, if anybody else watching has any kind of constructive feedback for me, please feel free to give it to me, because I need all the help I can get on this. And I will not be offended at all. I am just doing my thing here, trying to help this movie get done in a timely manner. And I was feeling artsy tonight, so... I think I need to... See, the colors are showing up a little bit differently on mine, too. Looks like I need a little bit of whitish and red, maybe? And it needs to be darker. I think I'm getting closer, though.
So, to me, they look like trees that are dying.
Okay.
Or
the trees that I've drawn, or the trees...
It's a very autumn-looking tree to me. So, okay, they're supposed to be pine trees.
Yes.
But the leaves are... But the needles are all turning brown. That's what you're supposed to be going for.
Okay.
As Oliver said, I think the trees need a little more green. I mean... This has to match scene 2, which was previously done.
Yeah.
This
is what I need to match. I need
the trees
to match
in scene
this.
2 really don't have any green in them at all.
They really don't. They're kind of black and maybe a really dark green, if anything. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, Maki is right. It's more of a drought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ashley's saying, you're outside my skill level, Lupana, so even if I could think what to do, I wouldn't know how to explain it. Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah, Oliver said, wait, forgot that you were copying the reference. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm not sure why the decision was to make it look like a drought or make it look like autumn or something like that, but that was the decision made, and it was made a long time ago. Because this reference art that you're looking at, if you go look at our channel and you find the thing that's...
Yeah.
If you go find the video that says, like, Scene 2, Scene 2 rough edit or something like that, and you look at how old that video is...
You'll see how old it is.
That art is older than that video by, like, at least a couple of months. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Now Oliver's saying sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to beat you up about it.
No, it's all right.
Just explaining that it's there's without knowing that art is that old, you have no reason to know why it is. So I'm more just trying to explain. Yeah. I'm just trying to fill a knowledge gap, but I'm not trying to make you feel bad about it because you had no reason to know that specifically.
We don't expect anybody to be geniuses here. We're not even proclaiming to be that.
Well, and...
It's all good.
And even the most devout fan who's been following us for 10 years, wouldn't know all the production stuff in the background.
Right.
Even the people that are in the back, who have been in production the whole time, except for Yuzuri, who's the director, probably wouldn't know most of the decisions. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's go for a gray.
Kia just asked, how many years has the project been going on?
A very, very long time.
It's hard for... Okay. The people that we have talked to recently were not part of the original crew. But it's at least 10 years. I think the storyboard... See, I want to look stuff up, but now my computer is being taken over, because if I do anything, then it messes up the screen share.
I'm pretty sure I want to say 2003 or 2004 is when stuff began rolling.
Yes.
That's what...
It's around there. Yeah, you're right. It's about then.
So that would make it for 13 years? 14? Something like that.
Yeah, going on 15 years. So. It has been a long time.
Nope, that's too brown. Nope. There we go. That's a better color. I still think these look too green to me, but maybe Yuzuri will have some more feedback, and maybe somebody else can take over and finish what I've started. There's always that possibility, too.
Yeah, someone may be able to do some finishing touches on it. Not sure.
Whoops. Okay, Oliver's saying, it's sad that after all these years and all the effort, when this movie does come out, it will likely go unknown to the general public, or that Marvel movies will overshadow it, or whatever's popular when it does come out. And you do have a point there. We're not going to be famous from this, and we know that. But
although I would like to point out that I know for a fact several people who were involved in this movie in the beginning are now prominent staff members at several furry conventions. So at the very least, I'm pretty sure we can get this shown at furry conventions, at which point it should spread by word of mouth outside the furry conventions. My personal goal, although, maybe this is unattainable, but my personal goal really is to get a convention to say that we to make us like guest of honor or something for that year. That's my goal. Not because the only reason I say that is I want to be able to make this like we show this movie in the main events hall of a convention like 2 or 3 times over the weekend, like maybe once a night. That's my goal. Put it up on those projectors of a main events hall in a
yeah.
And yeah, as Maki said, we're doing it as an act of love. It will be a shame if it doesn't get much notoriety, but it is an act of love. Some other plans we have is to use either something like Kickstarter, there's other things like Kickstarter, in order to get DVD sales going. So like, if we can, figure out how many orders we need to have in order to get, like a professional DVD or Blu-ray made. This is definitely Blu-ray quality. Ashley asked, "Is this still working?" I assume so because I saw your message.
Then she said, "Okay, phew." So
yeah,
we must be good.
Not sure what that's about. I hope your computer is still working, if that's what you mean. And your internet connection.
Yes.
So yeah, it's an act of love, but there's some thoughts and some plans as to how to get people to know about it. But the big thing about that is it's going to be a free movie. Yes, we will collect a slight profit on things like the DVD sale, or Blu-ray sale, whatever. At the end of the day, any proceeds will go to some form of a wolf conservation charity. Which ones hasn't been figured out yet, because there's no reason to think about such things as this so far in the future. But we will take a little bit of a profit for that. But other than that, it's anything physical will be sold at cost. I'm not sure if we're gonna release the movie in digital media just for free, but that in itself is probably going to help the distribution, because people are going to say, "Oh, look at this movie for free. oh, look, it's a fan-made full-length, feature-length movie.
Right.
As far as I know, this is the only. I mean, this isn't necessarily a furry movie, but as far as I know, there are no other feature-length animated movie projects in the furry community. So that in itself is going to give us a lot of notoriety. Um, as for how we would, like advertise or get this spread outside the furry community, I don't have an idea other than just straight word of mouth. But I don't necessarily think I don't know that all the staff is furry. I'm sure there's people on staff who aren't. I'm sure there's people who are just animal lovers or animation lovers who aren't necessarily furry. Um, and I'm sure they have channels of their own. Maybe we'll reach out to wolf conservation centers and see if they want to set up any events or there's lots of things we can do. We're not worried about it getting overshadowed.
Yeah.
That was the point of my whole thing is to just say we're not worried about being overshadowed. And it will be overshadowed, in terms of it won't be, if we get it shown in theaters at all, it's not going to be in more than a dozen theaters. It's not going to be everywhere. So, why is everything to do? This is Oliver still. Why is everything to do with animated wolves related to furries now?
I know. I wondered that myself too.
So.
Okay, here's a simpler question maybe before you answer that.
Sure, go ahead.
What exactly is a furry? Why don't we discuss that, or is that too deep a topic?
No, sure, okay.
Because I've heard it being thrown around, and I've heard 1,000 definitions of it, but I don't know what the actual.
There sort of is lots of definitions, and I don't. Yeah. There is no Webster dictionary definition, or if there is, I wouldn't trust it.
Right.
A furry to me is either a person or the community that such a person is in, of people who enjoy the art and idea of anthropomorphic animals. So either people that are animals or animals that are like people. That is furry. It's anthropomorphizing animals.
If that then based on that definition, I am a furry. Just because I love the idea of animals being able to have human qualities and being able to talk and yada yada yada.
Right. And there is an issue with calling, saying that someone's a furry without them self saying that they're a furry. For example, the brony community. The brony community is a community centered around a show about anthropomorphic pony characters.
Yes.
By the definition, they're a type of furry. But that doesn't mean that they are in the community that considers themselves furries. So there's a distinction. Right. There's a distinction between what literally is a furry and people who are part of the furry community. So okay, so Oliver said, "Me too, I guess, but I don't dress up." Yeah, so dressing up as an anthropomorphic animal is a specific aspect of what is called the furry fandom. There's lots of aspects to the furry fandom. There are people who I would consider furries who don't consider themselves furries, and I'm not gonna, throw that in their face that yeah, you're definitely a furry. Just stop denying it. Just because, the definitions differ. But yeah, the nebulous idea of a furry is just anthropomorphic animals. And then there's the furry community, which is the community of people who specifically take this to a greater extent and do art that is geared towards each other. All fandoms, they do art for each other. They do art for themselves and for each other.
Yes.
And so
there's going to be art in the furry fandom that doesn't appeal to people outside of it, or doesn't even appeal to, maybe there's something that only appeals to 10% of people who call themselves furries. That happens in every fandom. So.
Yes, of course.
Akia said, to me, furries are more like animals who really look more like a human who stands on 2 feet, wears clothes and accessories. And I don't consider movies like Lion King and such as furries. There's
it's like anthro. That's
there's a
anthro.
spectrum. Well, no, exactly. There's a spectrum of what anthropomorphic means. There's things that are very lightly anthropomorphic, which is where things like Lion King, Balto, or even this movie lie, where the characters look real as you can make an animated character. Within the bounds of animation, they look like real wolves, they look like real lions. They just have human intelligence. The big thing is that usually they have a human face, or a face that is more suited towards human emotion. Specifically like the eyes and mouth. Like, you can't do The Lion King, you can't do Balto, you can't do this movie, Wolf, without at least modifying the character enough to be able to do human emotions in the eyes and mouth. It is just, you can't make a movie that way if you want humans to watch it. So that is the first level of anthropomorphic. The next level is when you start giving them more human characteristics, such as being able to walk on 2 feet. Usually at this level, a character who walks on 2 feet, like a wolf who's able to walk on 2 feet, will still have digitigrade legs, which means they actually walk on their digits or their toes. So it looks like their knee is backwards, but actually you're just looking at their ankle, and their knee is even further up. Which is exactly how a wolf's back leg works. It's just normally wolves don't walk on 2 legs. So that's the second level, where you give them more human characteristics. The third level is when they're barely animal at all. And as an example of this, I would say the My Little Pony, the high school. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, Lupana.
I've seen. I think I know what you mean. I've seen a lot of fan art and stuff.
Yeah. So there's
where they're like,
there's a series of movies where it's the My Little Pony, the recent My Little Pony Generation 4, but it's set in high school, where they are mostly human. They actually kind of look like Bratz dolls to an extent. They're mostly human, but they do have a little bit of animal characteristics, and that's the last level of anthropomorphic, where it's like they're barely animals.
Yeah.
I gotta catch up on chat.
I know there's a lot going on.
Akia agreed. Sorry, Oliver said Akia. That's what I thought, saying that I don't consider Lion King such as furries. Oliver asked, "Are they still furry if they walk on all fours?" Sorry if I'm too chatty. Don't worry about that. Maki said just the intellect / personalities, and then working more towards humanoid and build, adding on as they go up the ladder. Nala said anthro equals anthropomorphic and or walking upright. Feral equals walking on all fours or natural state. Akia asked, how do you have answers to everything? Maki said the human world one. Yes, I was talking about the human world, My Little Pony. Oliver says, great job on the trees, by the way. And then Nala is giving a breakdown of anthropomorphic. So Nala's saying level 1, Spirit Stallion the Cimarron. Totally agree. Level 1 is the same thing as like Lion King, where you barely adjust the face just so that you can get the expressions you need. The big thing with Spirit Stallion the Cimarron is that horses are nowhere near as expressive with their neighing as they are in that movie. If you watch the special features of Spirit Stallion the Cimarron, there's one where they talk about horses really only make sounds when they're happy or angry or afraid or something like that. And it was a huge challenge to get the sounds they needed without hurting the horses, which they obviously can't do. So they were talking about how it was almost an impossible challenge to get the sounds they needed out of the horses, just
Wow.
because horses aren't expressive the way that we needed them to be. Level 2, Lion King. Okay, so Nala's saying that the Lion King is more anthropomorphized than Spirit. I'll accept that. You're right. They're a little bit more anthropomorphized.
Yeah, because they kind of talk more, and yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Level 3, Robin Hood and Zootopia. I would definitely agree.
Yes.
Robin Hood and Zootopia are sort of like the upper level of anthropomorphic. After that, Nala hasn't really said anything anymore. But I would say after that is like the My Little Pony Equestria Girl. It's called Equestria Girls when they go into like the real world. I would say that's level 4 because they're barely anthro. I don't think there's other things, other like mainstream Western media that goes to that level. It's usually way more anthro, it's usually at least Robin Hood level or at least Zootopia level in the Western world.
Yeah.
But in anime, they have a lot of stuff where they have one character or like a couple of characters that are barely anthro. It's like they might have a character with cat ears, and that's all. It's just cat ears.
Yeah.
So that's sort of like level 4 along with the Equestria Girls. Oliver says level 3 sort of like Looney Tunes. Yeah, Looney Tunes is sort of in level 3 with Robin Hood and Zootopia. Nala said, well, I don't, I think this statement isn't in the level. Anyway, Nala said just humans with animal clothes or guises, basically. Oh, yeah. So level 3, or what I'm going to call level 4, is just humans with animal clothes or, like, maybe just ears.
Yeah.
Oliver said level 4 bog standard furry art. Most furry art is around the level of, like, 2 or 3, where it's either around, like, Lion King or Robin Hood and Zootopia. Most furry art is actually more furry than just human with cat ears. A lot of people don't like human characteristics. Like, a lot of people don't like hands. They prefer paws or whatever is
Right.
whatever is appropriate for the animal that they are. They don't like human hands. So that's specifically one thing that separates out something that separates out Robin Hood and Zootopia because, okay, yeah, maybe they have hands, but they have, like, four-fingered hands, or they don't have thumbs, or, I think in Zootopia, there's a lot of characters who didn't have human hands.
Yeah, they all just have regular animal hands, as far as I know.
Yeah. Nala said, ask me about horses sometime. Okay, so I guess Nala knows a lot about. Ikea said, well, they can't talk, so they make noises instead. Yes, of course, animals make noises instead. But specifically what I was talking about with, like, horses don't make nearly as many noises, and for nearly as many reasons as humans do. Dogs. Pick any animal. They just don't make as many noises as you might think they are. Like, okay, you might say, oh, my dog is talking to me, and he makes all these different barks, as he's feeling differently. And yeah, okay, maybe your dog is a very expressive dog. But on the whole, most animals don't talk like humans. Or they don't have a range of vocal expressions like humans do.
Right.
Maki is saying I hadn't watched the Spirit one. Maki, I have Spirit Side of the Simran. We will watch it.
Spirit is a great movie.
Yeah, if you meant that you haven't seen the Spirit special features, I have those too. I have those too. We can. If Spirit was closer to real life, the horses would be flicking their ears and twitching muscles more than making noise. Yes, they do flick their ears and twitch their muscles a lot, but not as much as they do in real life. And then yes, they don't make noise as much. You're right. Nala is perfectly right there. Oliver's saying ear rape. Am I? Wait, okay, level 5, humans with, like, animal ears and tails like Spice and Wolf. Yeah. Although Spice and Wolf, at least Hollow does transform into a freaking badass wolf in Spice and Wolf.
I've never seen it, so.
Oh, really? Okay, so Spice and Wolf is an adorable anime. Like flat out, like, if you What's shoot? What am I thinking of? Have you seen Ponyo?
Have I seen what?
Ponyo, the Studio Ghibli movie. Ponyo,
I
Ponyo, little fishy in the sea.
No, I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, the translation was done with Disney. It had the
Right,
Jonas
yeah.
Brothers' little brother as the one main character, and like Miley
Oh my
Cyrus's little
gosh.
sister as the other one. Clearly they were trying to do it to set them up as Disney stars in the future. Not sure it's gonna
Uh-huh.
work because obviously those are all they're Disney families
Right,
basically.
right.
But the English dub isn't bad for that. But yeah, so okay, never mind then. Well, basically both Ponyo and Spice and Wolf have the same type of adorableness. Spice and Wolf is about a merchant trader. Okay, let me back up. Hollow, who is a wolf, is like the agricultural goddess of a village. So they give her offerings and she makes the crops grow well.
Okay.
But she doesn't really talk to the village. And because she's supposed to be like a goddess and she stays aloof. So, um, she makes the perfectly rational argument that you can't have a field be producing at 100% every year. Sometimes you have to let the fields go follow. And this is the thing we know. This is why we do crop rotations. This is why we fertilize. But because she never tells the humans, hey, don't use this field for a couple of years, she just like stops making that field produce well. They think she's abandoned them.
Ah.
And so they get pissy, and then they become Christian because they think that their God abandoned them.
Okay.
And so they stop doing offerings to her. And so she leaves. And she goes on this adventure with a merchant who she calls Spice because he's primarily a spice merchant. Oh, clearly you don't have to do very much with those trees in the background because this one in the foreground covers them.
Yeah, really.
And so they go on this adventure where the merchant agrees that he will, well, basically she forces him, but he agrees that he will try to take her back to her home in the north. And because he's a merchant, he has to make money as he's going town to town. And she uses some of her skills, like being able to tell if someone's lying and her excellent hearing, to help him out with his merchanting. And he explains to her
Okay.
how modern how like trade works and stuff like that. So
Okay.
it's this amazing thing where you learn how trade works and you're entertained by it.
Okay.
I know that's not necessarily a selling point, but it is something that makes the movie it makes the anime quite interesting. If you like anime at all, if you like adorable, heartfelt characters, there is a real story to it. And there's
You're right.
actually there's some times when you think, oh no, they're gonna get caught because there's rival merchant groups and stuff like that. Or it's like, oh no, they're about to get eaten by wolves who are angry because she's encroaching on their territory. If you like stuff like that, I would say at least give a couple episodes a shot.
Yeah.
There has been lots of comments since I have gone on that sidetrack. Okay.
Ikea just says, catching up on comments, energy level intensifies.
Okay,
That just made me
Oliver
laugh.
says Zootopia was kind of like a 3D Robin Hood, except it wasn't the story of Robin Hood. Okay, sure. Yeah, 3D Robin Hood, sort of. Maki said animal communication is fundamentally different. Yeah, and that's the problem. That's why it's hard to
Yes.
do. Nala says Windwater Pack, the movie that they're helping with, is probably level 2. Okay. Maki said, Spice and Wolf is a movie. No, Spice and Wolf's an anime. It's got 2 or 3 seasons. I think they're gonna make a movie for it. Okay. Oliver said never watched Spice and Wolf long enough to see the wolf transformation. Sadly. Okay. Maki said have it. Yes, Maki, I have Spice and Wolf too. Actually, I know that you have Spice and Wolf because I think we were gonna start watching it together. Oliver said gave up after the second episode. I think the third episode is the one where she transforms into a wolf that's like 2 stories tall. And like...
Holy cow.
Well, she's a wolf goddess. What do you expect?
I know,
anyway.
it's just like I didn't expect that.
Yeah. Akia catching up on comments, energy level intensifies. Oliver, ham! Yes, okay. So the most adorable thing in Ponyo is when Ponyo is given ham. And so that's something to look forward to.
Okay.
So, Ponyo with ham. Seriously, you should watch Ponyo.
Okay.
It's made by Okay, Ponyo was made by Studio Ghibli, who
I know, they're like the king of anime.
Yeah, well, Studio Ghibli has their own style, and to compare them to anime, it's not really bad on either them or anime. It's just like they're completely different from anime. Not completely different, but they really have their own style. Anyway, it's Studio Ghibli, and then the dub is done by Disney. It's not the best dub, but it's a pretty good dub. The Ghibli dubs are the best dubs. It's not the dubbing that makes Ghibli dubs the best. Maki said, "Why does that sound familiar?" Also, I love The Cat Returns. I'm not sure which thing sounded familiar to you, but whatever it is, we can talk about later and we can catch you up. We really need to do a movie night soon. Oliver said, "Great movie." I guess he's referring to The Cat Returns, which is also a Ghibli movie. It's half past 4 in the UK. Starting to get brighter. Yeah, I guess it is getting brighter at that time of day.
Wow.
Out of place emotional daybreak music from Crackdown 2 plays. I don't think I've never played Crackdown 2. Oliver says, "Oh, come on, I missed it by 1 episode." Okay, don't quote me. I'm pretty sure,
You can always pull it up on YouTube.
Well, yeah,
maybe.
It might be on YouTube. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's in episode 3, but don't quote me on it. Maki says, "Have it is out of place because you're talking about Ponyo." Oh, well, okay, I'm not surprised you have Ponyo either. You collect everything. He's not quite a data hoarder, but he does collect lots of media. Oliver says I comment too much. Actually, not really, because I've caught up with the comments, so there's really not that many comments for me to catch up on. I thought there was more. Maki says Spice and Wolf. I'm really getting confused, because, like, okay. Hold on, have it.
You guys are replying to each other, and it's making it hard.
Yes. Okay, so Maki was saying, why does that sound familiar? Maki, it sounds familiar because I described it to you like 2 or 3 weeks ago, saying that I have it and we should watch it. That's why. Actually, I might have been describing it to another one of our friends while you were there. But yes, it sounds familiar because I mentioned it recently, like within the past month.
Boom. Okay.
Anyway.
The trees in the background need something yet, but I don't know what they need. Maybe I just need to do what I did with the front trees?
Are there any... Okay, so I have 2 comments here. 1, are there any trees that are green? Because I don't think there are. And 2...
No.
2, those look like mountains that are covered in greenery, not like trees.
I gotta look at the sheet again. This is the reference. The only trees that are green are the ones in the way back.
Right, and that's basically a hill covered in trees.
Yeah. So, let's look at the...
Right, what I'm saying is that your trees there don't look like trees.
No, there's definitely trees, because look at this.
No. I know they're supposed to be trees. I'm saying that yours don't look like trees.
Well, okay then. Mike, which trees do not look like trees? The ones in the back.
The ones that you have that are green.
Yeah, they don't look like trees. Okay.
Well,
How do I make them look like trees?
Okay, don't first off, there needs to be at least 3 distinct trees there. Not the top of a tree and then green mountains. Because that's what you have. You have the top of a tree and then green mountains.
This is a tree here. That's a tree.
That tree on the left does not look like a tree. The one.
Well, it's supposed to be a tree.
Yeah, I know. It needs to look more like a tree. And that one in the middle only looks like a tree on the top, not on the rest.
Okay.
Okay, what I would do is what I would do is give yourself a new layer for those trees.
Okay.
Do that one big tree. That tree is prominent enough that it needs to be a tree on its own.
Okay.
Make that a tree. And then do everything else behind it, and you should be good.
Okay. Then let's do that. Yeah. Oh, there was something I was going to say before you went off on the comments. I can't remember what it was now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It probably wasn't that important. We were talking about... I don't know. Maybe it'll come to me. It's all good. Wait, why is it not... Why?
I'm not sure why is... I'm not sure what your why is.
I know. I'm yelling at myself. Okay, let's just do that.
So you have the layout on the top of your stack?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that way I can easily find it.
Right.
Okay, that's a good layout there. See, I can't see anything when the layout's on the very top. Now that I have something... No. Okay, so as far as the furry thing we were talking about, what a furry is, what that entails, the levels and stuff, I guess I like levels 2 and 3, which is Zootopia and stuff like that. But pretty much everything above that is not my thing.
So you like Zootopia through Lion King. You don't like anything that's more human than Zootopia.
Not normally.
Yeah. And obviously these things are fluid. Like, if something has a really good story, you might stick with it.
Right.
Yeah. So, like, Spice and Wolf is...
That might be on the edge, but, I haven't seen this, so I don't know.
Spice and Wolf is very much about human characters, except for the one character who is somewhere around level 4. The Hollow, the wolf, except for when she transforms into a literal wolf, when she's in, like, a human body, is mostly human. She has a tail. It's a really nice tail, and she flaunts it all the time, but it's really just tail and ears. And half the time she's wearing a cloak that hides her ears because she's supposed to be hiding her wolfness from the humans. But she still has, like, all her mannerisms are of a wolf person. So she's still very much a wolf character. Slightly mixed a little bit with what I would say a fox character is. So,
yeah.
But, yeah. Oliver said they can't find that Crackdown 2 song on YouTube, but who cares? Just gonna listen to 80s soft rock instead. Okay. Sounds good.
80s and 70s rock is awesome. Let's just be honest.
Oh, I was gonna say your clock's wrong, and then I realized you're not in my time zone.
Mine? Yeah.
What I was gonna say is, hey, that's weird. The time that you have on your clock is earlier than the last time that YouTube complained about the stream being weird. So the last notification I got from YouTube was at 10:51, and I looked at your clock. Okay, I was trying to look at my clock, but I looked at the corner of the screen where your clock is, and I was like, 10:43. What happened here?
And then I realized, A, that's actually your clock, and B, you're in Mountain Time Zone.
Central.
Oh, yeah, Central, and then it goes Mountain.
It's like right a minute, Central. Central!
Yeah.
I'm getting tired now.
There's not that many states in Mountain Time Zone, and when you look at, like, the amount of people, it's less than 5% of the country live in Mountain Time Zone.
Interesting.
Those states are just so empty. They don't have people in them.
Because it's mostly land, too.
Hey, it's mostly empty, yeah.
Is that question directed to me, Oliver?
Are you in California? No. California is not in Central Time Zone. I think that question was referring to you. I'm in Eastern Time Zone, so neither of us is in California. One's in Eastern, one is.
Yeah, I'm definitely not in California. I will give you a hint. We use y'all a lot.
Oh, so you're down south.
Oh yeah, I'm down south. I've lived in the south so long that it started to rub off on me. I was actually born an Eastern Coast person, though. So, yay. Oh, my hand is starting to cramp from doing this so long.
Marquis said, seriously, I know where I'm going. I didn't know.
What do you mean, California?
I'm not sure what he's referring to. I guess he's saying that he's going to go down south in the Central Time Zone?
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm confused.
Colorado is very beautiful, though. I will say that.
Colorado is a place that I've thought about. Oh, Marquis just said actually still debating about Colorado. Yeah, Colorado is a place I've thought about going.
I've been there before, and it is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh yeah, I've never been to Colorado. So hold on, So Oliver said, "Who needs sleep? I'll just watch this until the morning." It's up to you, man. So you were in Colorado. Did you visit there? Did you live there?
No, I visited there. I've been everywhere. I've literally been everywhere. I have actually been to 47 of the 50 states at one point. Not to live there, but just visiting it on vacation and such.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm missing Alaska, Hawaii, and North Dakota of all places. So.
Okay. So you've been to all but one of the continental states. That's really cool.
Yep. Yeah. And we found that there's always something to do in every state. There's always something cool.
Mm-hmm.
But Colorado was gorgeous. It really was gorgeous with the mountains and the snow and the everything was just gorgeous. Okay, let's see what this tree looks like.
That's good.
Could be better, but it's good for tonight, though. I am actually surprised at how much progress I've made on this and how nice that it actually looks. I did not think I was going to get this far, guys.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive for
yay.
Your second background attempt. It's really good.
Yeah. Now what I really want to do is send this to you and have you run it with the inking and see what it looks like. I mean, with the rough animation. Is Colorado really like South Park? I do not know because I don't watch South Park, so I would not be able to tell you. I would not be able to effectively answer that question.
Okay. I just found... Well, okay. Oliver said, and hopefully not fall asleep during uni. Yeah, that'd be bad. Marquis was saying... when he was saying that he would... he knows where he's going. He's talking about going to the empty spaces. Oliver says, sadly, I've never been to the U.S., but I hope I will someday. The problem with someone who's not from the U.S. coming to the U.S. is just saying I want to go to the U.S. is really nebulous.
figure out what you want to go to first. Like in Japan, they think all of the U.S. is just New York and California. Like, they think everyone lives or everyone is
in New
like
York
New
or
Yorks or
California.
Californians. Because that's all they get in their media over there, for the most part. Like, and that's all that's portrayed in our movies, for the most part, is New York and California.
That's true, yeah.
So I would say, I hope you do get to come here one day. I've been to the UK, and I've been to several things in the UK. Only once. I was there for a week. I had a great time. I hope you come to the US, and I hope you have a great time in our country too. But the US has a lot of stuff in it, and I hope you just I hope you have a really good way of figuring out what you want to do. If you have friends here, visiting your friends is a good enough reason. Maki says he's been to 48 states, 6 Canadian provinces, and Mexico for a weekend. That's pretty good.
Ooh.
Oliver says, I want to go to Norway or Sweden. I've heard great things about both those countries. I sort of want to go to them. I want to go to Norway to visit the Svalbard Seed Vault. I know that sounds a little silly, but that's the only thing in Norway I specifically would want to go see. Other than just being in Norway, because I think it is a good country. Oliver asks, is Colorado really like South Park? I don't know about South Park. I don't watch much of it, and I don't know what their portrayal of Colorado is like.
Yeah, I don't know how it's portrayed either, so I can't answer that question.
Maki says this is impressive art.
Thank you.
Oliver says you should applaud yourself for working your ass off on that tree. I mean, the entire background.
Thank you. I'm not going to be able to last much longer, and I'm definitely going to have to work on this some more, but I'm really impressed with how good I've done. I didn't think it was going to look this good at all. So.
Maki says the green could use some breaking up. A bit of tree-shaped shadows would do it. So, like, if you just use, like, shadow to imply that there's more trees, that would help.
Yeah.
And then this is Maki was saying this to Oliver. There's a lot of variance, dare I say, as much in the States as there is in all of Europe. Yeah, well, just look at the landmass and look at how people spread out. Yeah, there's definitely as much variance in the U.S. as there is in all of Europe. Just like there's as much variance in China as there is in Russia, because they're both freaking huge land masses. Especially in China, there's still like over 10 predominantly spoken different versions of Chinese. Yeah, so there's lots of variance in any large amount of landmass. But the U.S. is definitely as big as Europe, or as big as the part of Europe that's in the EU, because there's also a lot of Europe that isn't in the EU.
Okay, so where in the United Kingdom are you?
Okay, hopefully we will get that answer soon. I am curious. I'm curious to know what part of the United Kingdom you're in.
Because I've never been to the UK, and I've really wanted to go. I want to go to England, and I want to go. I just want to go to all the nice places that you see all the time.
Well, so
that you see in like media and stuff and pictures and this looks so nice.
Well, the good news about that is it's sort of like here in the United States where it's like the stuff you see in movies is mostly around California and New York. In the UK, my understanding is that most of that stuff's around London. But specifically saying that, Oliver says, "Don't worry, most people from outside the UK think it's just London."
Yeah, no, I know it's not just London, but I know there's a lot of cool places there to visit, not just London.
Maki agrees with me that the Svalbard Seed Vault sounds like a fun weekend. And then he also said the tree-shaped shadow was done by the time he said it. So, okay.
Yes. I'm trying.
Oliver says that he is up north in the Cumbrian area. I gotta look this up because I don't know where Cumbrian is. But he says it's nowhere near London. And then Maki says, as far as England goes, he's been wanting to visit a few friends over there. Okay, so I'm going to go to Google Maps, and I'm going to look this up. I hope Cumbrian area comes up in Google Maps.
I have a friend that lives in London, but I haven't talked to her for a while.
Cumbria, UK is... Okay, what I'm seeing is that it's basically in the middle of... It's basically in the middle of the island, halfway between Glasgow and Manchester. If that's not the right area, I'm sorry. That's what Cumbria, UK comes up with. You can tell me how far I am. Glasgow is a place I'd like to see. Manchester is a place I've been to. This area in the middle, I don't think I've ever been to. Now, I got a question for you, Oliver. There is a place that has a permanent Robin Hood. It's like a Renaissance fair, but it's like a permanent Renaissance fair. I think it's the Sherwood Forest. Um, the where is that in the United Kingdom? Like where is that permanent Robin Hood Renaissance fair that I think is at the Sherwood Forest? And where are you in relation to that? Yeah, Oliver says he's closer to Scotland than London. Which
Oh,
yeah.
Scotland.
Yeah, definitely based on where I'm looking, because London is the bottom right. Like London is closer to France than to Manchester. Whereas where I'm looking is close to the Isle of Man and is basically the middle of the island. Maquis also, like me, is looking at Cumbria in the middle of the landmass. Maquis saying road trip, hee, wonder if we can get the crew together for that. You mean a road trip throughout the United Kingdom? I mean, we'd have to fly there first.
That would be awesome.
The flight to the UK isn't bad, because it's like a 5-hour flight. It's really nice. Oliver says closer to Scotland than Manchester. Yeah, of course. Okay. Well, the Cumbria area looks like it's about halfway in between. That doesn't mean that you're halfway in between. I'm just the marker in Google Maps is halfway between Glasgow and Manchester. That's all I'm saying. I'm not like that area might be a big area, but the specific marker point. Oliver, so he's not sure where the Sherwood Fair is. Darn. Okay, let me look it up because I know that it's like a permanent. Because I went there.
I've never heard of this.
I went there for a day. It was really cool. Okay, have you ever been to a Renaissance fair?
Actually, no.
Do you know what a Renaissance fair is?
Yes.
So there's a permanent Renaissance fair at Sherwood Forest, which is, the area that the real Robin Hood supposedly was.
Yeah.
The thing about the Robin Hood is that it's sort of a mixture of a couple of different people. At least this is my understanding. There is a person who was at the Sherwood Forest, but that person doesn't really match the description of Robin Hood. There's another person who really matches the description of Robin Hood, but they weren't at the Sherwood Forest. And then sort of like they just kind of like merged in history.
Okay.
So it's not 100% a real story, but like my understanding is that anyway. So let's look at Ren Fair Sherwood Forest. Oh, it's the Shrewsbury. No, is this right? Sherwood Forest Fair. Oh no, this is an 8th annual. Oh, maybe it's not a permanent thing. Maybe it's just like a recurring thing. No, but they're saying 8th annual. I was there more than 8 years ago, so this isn't the same thing I'm looking at. Let me look this up differently. Okay, so Robin Hood Ren Fair, because it was Robin Hood's Fair. What? I don't think this is it. No, this thing's way too. Oh, this is in Connecticut. It's in the wrong continent. Sherwood Robin Hood Festival? What is this? This is in Oregon. Okay, okay.
By the way, Oregon is also beautiful.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I've seen some pictures of Oregon. Okay, the thing that I'm thinking about may not have been a permanent thing. The Sherwood Fair that I went to like the permanent thing that actually was Robin Hood themed might not be at Sherwood Forest. In fact, I'm pretty sure, because I was staying with people near London, I'm pretty sure we didn't travel that far for it. So I might be thinking, like, I honestly can't remember what it's called, and I couldn't find it looking at Google. Maki says road trip, in regards to the road trip, yeah, pinballing around the UK. Oliver says road trip around the world in the Venga bus. We like to party. Not sure what the Venga bus is. What's the Venga bus?
I don't know what that means
either. This has got to be a British thing. I'm not saying like in a degrading way. I'm saying like it's got to be a thing that I've just never heard of. Because it must not be over here. Oh! Okay. There's a Dutch dance pop group called the Venga Boys. They travel around in a bus they call the Venga Bus.
Oh.
Well, okay, maybe they don't travel around in it. They have a song called We Like to Party, the Venga Bus. So they have a song about a bus they travel in. Maybe they don't literally travel in it. But okay, so that's the reference he's making. No? Okay. So, Maki said, actually, I wonder if there's a driving route that would allow for near global travel. Well, okay, if you're willing to take a plane or a boat from the big challenges are that, okay, you have a couple of places where you have to get across the water. The obvious easiest one is from Alaska to Russia, because that's like 45 miles. If you're standing on a tower at one side, you can see the other side. You can just barely see over the curvature. Or if the water has the right type of conditions to be reflective, you can see the land on the other side.
Oh, that's cool.
So and that's because it's only 45 miles. And that's actually like during the Cold War, it was like, well, obviously if the Russians were going to invade, they'd do it through Alaska. So other than that, driving tour around the U.S. is a bit hard because other than Asia, the Asian part of Russia and the U.S., or North America being close to each other. And then you've got Asia and Europe being like one big landmass. And then, if it wasn't for the Panama Canal, then Africa and Asia would be connected. Although I think the Panama Canal is mostly in Africa. I don't think it's actually in Asia. I think it's all in Africa. But still, it is literally a body of water you have to cross to get from like most of Africa to Asia and Europe. So you technically, unless there's bridges, I assume there is bridges over the Panama Canal. So yeah, you could drive over that.
I would think there is. I vaguely remember something about that.
Oh,
or
wait,
if there's
I'm
not,
an
you
idiot.
can at least take
I don't
a boat.
mean the Panama Canal. I'm an idiot. Don't yell at me. I'm sure Maquis already corrected me in chat. It's not I don't mean the Panama Canal. I mean the.
I was way confused. Like,
is it
I
the
wasn't
Bering
about to say
Strait?
anything though.
No, not the Bering Strait. What's that canal in Egypt called? I'm gonna Google it. Nobody tell me. I'm not gonna look at chat.
You're cracking me up.
Suez Canal.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Sorry, I just had a flashback to something very funny.
Okay.
Ignore me.
So Maquis, there's not exactly a driving route that allows for near global travel. But if you look at the fact that North America and South America are connected. Okay, so you have 7 continents. North America and South America are connected. That's 2. Asia, Europe, and Africa are connected. That gives you 3 more. And Asia and North America are almost connected. So 5 of them are connected together. There's no real way to get to Australia.
No.
There's no real way to get to anything else that's on the Australian continent. Like, I'm pretty sure that New Zealand is also on the same continental shelf as Australia. I could be wrong, tectonic plates are really stupid. Well, they're not stupid. When we say when you say there's like 7 continents, and you might say, oh, like, oh, a continent is something that's mostly on one tectonic plate. That's really simplifying it. But I'm pretty sure that Australia and New Zealand are on the same tectonic plate. Therefore, I'm going to consider New Zealand an island of the continent of Australia. Anyway, that's obviously not connected to anything. Nowhere near connected to anything. Like, it's amazing that they even found Australia. But, it's amazing that the British even found Australia just on a boat. Mostly because they got lost in a storm. But, that's how that goes. And then South America. Not South America. What the Antarctica. See, my problem is I know these things, but then my brain just pulls up the wrong word for them. Yeah, so Antarctica, obviously you can't drive to that either. Although Antarctica and the southern part of South America aren't that far apart. South Africa has penguins, I think. Or is that South America? One of the two...
No, they do. South Africa does have penguins.
Right.
I do know that.
Right. And they're not the same type of penguins, but, like, it's actually cold in southern South America and in South Africa. Like, it gets cold. Let's go back to chat, and let's catch up on chat. Oliver said it would cost a fortune, that's the problem. Yes, of course. Driving around the world would cost a fortune. Even if you can't get all the way around the world. And then Maki says, yeah, watches the dream shatter like a vase before a baseball bat. And also, wow, looked away for a few minutes and came back to so much in the stream. Oliver, so Oliver is talking about the Vantabus. He says, same law, Google it. I did. It's not British, it's Spanish. Well, I ended up finding they were Danish. Maki says Alaska, Russia, what about the ice bridge? My understanding is that there was an ice bridge like a couple million years ago, and that's how humans got from Asia to America. Like, that's how humans got... the land
bridge is there now.
Yeah, the ice bridge isn't there anymore. And you might be able to, like, hop from one ice sheet to another if you, like, go all the way up to the... So, Canada, the ice in Canada goes, like, all the way to the North Pole. My understanding is that the other side of that, which would be, like, Russia and Norway, doesn't. So there's not, like, ice, like, from one continent to another over the North Pole or near the North Pole. There's no ice bridge between Alaska and Russia as far as I know. Oliver's saying Spain, Morocco. Not sure. Not sure what Oliver's saying with Spain and Morocco. And Maki's saying the Panama Canal is around America. Yes, I realized I was saying the wrong thing. Oliver's saying how the hell did we go from the Wolf movie to world travel? Don't know. That's how. Oh, okay. Maki actually explained it. I saw your clock. Then we were talking about time zones, and then we were talking about where is everyone. Then we talked about visiting countries, then road trip, and then world travel. And then Oliver said,
"That is an awesome breakdown."
Conversation starter. Akia says, meanwhile, drinking my maple syrup coffee in Canada while drawing.
That is awesome.
Maki's saying, in regards to an ice bridge, I know there is still the ice road going on in Alaska. Not sure how far it goes. The thing about the ice road in Alaska is it basically goes to the tip of Alaska. There's parts of Alaska that you can't get to unless the ground is frozen. It's like those parts are on solid land, but that solid land isn't directly connected to... What?
Your microphone is kind of... you got a lot of air puffs going on, because I think you're getting really close to the mic. Just like you might want to know.
I am literally 2 feet away from the microphone.
Wow. I don't know what's happening.
I haven't moved. I'm sorry if I've got a lot of popping going on.
Just thought you might need to know. It's okay. I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's probably just because I'm excited and talking a lot and
Yes.
Okay, so I want to go back to the time zone thing actually, because I've had this open for a bit. I found a breakdown of population of the U.S. by time zone.
Ooh. Cool.
Okay, so Eastern. Okay, so hold on. Let's state, just to remind everyone, total population of the U.S. is about 300 million. I don't know the exact number. It might be higher. I'm pretty sure it's over 300 million, but it's like 300 million is an okay number for this, for talking about the time zones. Okay, Eastern time zone, 141 million people. So it's almost half the country. Central time zone, 85 million. About a third of the country. A quarter, somewhere between a third and a quarter of the country. Pacific time zone, 48 million. About a sixth of the country. How many million people do you want to guess is in Mountain Time Zone?
I would say about an eighth of the country.
Actually, hold on. Let me see what this number is.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not a bad guess. That's actually kind of close. It's 18,
Oh wow.
It's 18 million, which is about 16% of the country.
Okay.
So yeah,
I wasn't too far off then.
Yeah, an eighth is a twelfth of the country, so you were a little bit low.
Okay.
It's closer to an eighth than a seventh. No, wait, is my math right on that? What's a seventh? 1 divided by 7. No, actually, it's closer to a seventh. No, what's a sixth? Oh, actually, it's exactly a sixth of the country. I'm an idiot.
Just so you know, guys, you never know what we're gonna talk about in the wolf streams.
No, wait, I did this wrong. Because I did it the wrong way. Okay, it's 6% of the country. 18 million is 6% of...
Okay. That sounds a little bit better.
So yeah, okay, so 6% of the country. So it's about 20th. It's a little over a 20th. Maki says U.S. Census says around 325 million. Yeah, I was thinking it was a bit over 300 million. 300 million was an easier number for my calculation real quick. So yeah, Mountain Time Zone, about 6% of the country, or maybe 5% of the country. There's very few people. But also the Mountain Time Zone, if you look at like how much land it covers, does cover less land. It's a skinnier time zone, but not by very much. It's not very much less than the other time zones. But there's like almost no one.
That's your dog?
No, that was my chair squeaking.
Oh, okay. I thought it sounded like a dog whining.
No, it was a chair squeaking.
Okay.
So yeah, Mountain Time Zone has almost no one in it. It's both a blessing and a curse because yeah, land is cheap, no one's around you, but that also means that your infrastructure is crap. Specifically for me, it means that you don't have good internet. I might be able to go like near a big town so that I could get decent internet, and still have like lots of land, but I don't think I would go to Mountain Time Zone.
Okay, guys, I think this is a really good rough first draft of this background.
Yay!
And my hand is done. My hand said enough.
Okay,
so I'm not doing any more.
One critique I have, other than style critique, because obviously,
right.
it doesn't match the other scenes, so that's a style thing, obviously.
On your big boulder, you've sort of made
Uh-huh.
that dark section look like it's part of the boulder, when really it needs to be the boulder behind it. Remember, Janice needs to step out between those two
Yeah.
rocks.
It is on a different layer.
Okay. But it
Yeah.
looks like it's not a separate boulder in the background.
Okay. So how I guess I need to figure out how to fix that. But I guess I can save that for another day.
Yeah. I would say
Just to refresh you guys, this is the background I'm referencing.
Yeah, so it needs to match that style.
And it's not bad. Hey, let me zoom out a bit on the one. Then I can put them side by side more. No.
Yeah, the trees, especially those branches that are closest on the right, are matching really well.
On the right, you said?
The branches that come into the frame from the right look good.
Yeah.
Those
There we go. Now we can
those
see
are
it
the
better.
most on model.
Yeah. I need to work on that with the
So-
other tree,
so
but I'm
Oliver said if you change the sky, it would match. So the
it's
thing
not really going to match.
So the thing about it is, the image on the right is looking towards the west. It's looking at the sunset. The image on the left is looking at the north. So the sunset is to the left of the image on the left.
Yeah.
It's 90
That's
degrees
the
off.
only reason
So
why it doesn't match.
it probably it needs some work. I would want to look up what the sky actually looks like during a sunset if you're not looking at the sun. Just for a reference. But yeah, it's not, the sky isn't gonna match because they are looking at two different angles. What we talked about before is that the big rock in the middle of the left image is the same rock in the left side of the right image. You're looking at them from
It's just
different
a different
sides.
angle.
It's a different angle of the same rock. So that's actually why they have to match, because they're literally the same scene. It actually means that those trees that are green in the background, they don't have to match anything because we never see those trees in scene 2.
Cool.
I mean, they have to match thematically, but there isn't anything they have to match directly.
Right.
So yeah, getting close there.
Yeah, I'm giving myself a pat on the back for that. Whew.
Alrighty then.
I cannot wait to put this in Drive and show it to you, Zuri.
Yep.
Now what I really want to do is compare it to my older one. The one that I did forever ago.
Okay.
Let's see. Google Drive. Where is it at? Yeah. What's confusing, Oliver? Okay, yeah, here's the older one. Well, okay, let's put it here. Trying to get so you can see both of them at once.
Yeah, so this is just your personal progress as an artist.
Yeah.
Because they're not the same.
Right.
Ashley says, for the love of Mew, don't do what the Lion King did. I'm not sure what you mean.
With
how Pride Walk would point from east to west. Oh, okay.
No.
Well, this isn't really Pride Rock. It is like, it's a rock that you see in the first 2 scenes, but they don't ever come back to it.
Yeah.
It's just a rock. Like, they're just looking from the top of a cliff.
Okay, McKee says about the lighting that the rock would need to be a little bit warmer, and you are right about that. I did notice that as well, and I'm going to have to figure out how to fix that with coloring and stuff later. But yeah, the coloring is slightly off because of the lighting and the sunset and everything, but you know, I consider that kind of minor compared to everything else that I managed to accomplish.
Yeah. Now, Oliver says that the thing that was confusing him was the perspective.
Oh, yeah.
Keeping track of the perspective makes a lot more sense if you can look at
all the layouts together. And if you can look at the storyboards. So the storyboards, have it's everything at once, and they have the barest of guidelines for what the actual background and foreground should be. But then
Yes.
looking at all the layouts together, you can see what the overall perspective needs to be.
Yeah. If I wasn't so tired, I think that the big tree would look a little bit nicer. But I think that I've definitely improved in this, and I'm very happy with it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Whew.
Thank you all for
Thank
joining
you guys
us,
for hanging out.
Have a good night.
Yes, absolutely. I think you're going to have to end the stream on your end then, Bruce.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.